Good afternoon, everyone. It's Kirsten here for a Thursday spa business break here on my Facebook page. So, if you've been following my my Facebook lives for the past couple of weeks, I've been diving into the conversation about really how our own brains kind of self-sabotage us, and I think we all know this. But I think sometimes we also forget, or not even forget, sometimes when we're in it, we don't even know we're in it. We don't even know that our brains are sabotaging us, and really not giving us an opportunity to reach the goals that we want to reach as far as your spa business. Whether that is, what was your goal at the beginning of the year? I know you thought about this. Was it that you wanted to hire your first staff member this year? Was it that you want to bring in a new service, get new training on something, and then launch it into your spa business? Maybe you decided that this is the year that you're finally going to get organized and create your marketing strategy for the year. Maybe maybe you've even given yourself a little bit of space to kind of chunk it out into pieces. But whatever your spa goals were at the beginning of the year, what's happening now with them? I suspect that they're probably either very slow coming to fruition, or you are stuck somewhere in the process of getting this project completed, whatever it is whatever your growth project is for your business. So what I hear most of the time as far as why spa owners aren't able to complete their growth projects, and number one I always hear is I don't have enough time. So it's really super easy to buy into that concept that you just don't have enough time. But in the past few weeks, I've been challenging you to think past this. So there's been some other things that come up as far as why you're not reaching your goals. So not enough time, too many other things to do to finish your projects. There's other priorities, like, you've got clients booked, you've got family. There's, the blanket statement is usually, I don't have enough time to finish it. The other thing that I hear about is that clients are too cheap, or the clients in your area can't afford your services. That's another story that I hear spa owners telling themselves. I've also been hearing that social media doesn't work, particularly Facebook ads. So, that's another whole topic going down a rabbit hole. But the fact of the matter is that Facebook ads are complicated. They're not just as simple as doing a boost post and expecting people to come, booking appointments rapidly. It just doesn't work like that. It's a long game. But if you are kind of stuck in the mindset that social media just doesn't work, then of course it's not going to work for you. And then the last one that I hear a lot about owners telling themselves as far as why they can't seem to reach their goals this year is that they're not a good leader, or they don't know how to lead, or they're just simply not a leader. I hear this actually a lot from spa owners that have teams. They really don't identify themselves as being a leader. So really these kind of four things: not enough time to finish your projects, too much to do, clients can't afford you, they're too cheap in your area, social media doesn't work, I'm not a good leader. Those are the kind of four most common reasons why I hear people aren't finishing their projects. They're getting stuck. That's the whole point of this conversation is spa owners, entrepreneurs are just getting stuck and they're not finishing their projects. You may think it's one reason, but it's actually another. So let's talk about what that actually is. So when you are getting stuck in your growth projects, whether that's marketing, whether it's hire a new staff member, whatever your growth project is, you're all going to be very different, but kind of the same. When things are getting stuck and they're not getting completed, it's kind of like a homeowner who builds their own house. Have you ever noticed this? That it's always like that last 10 or 20% of the house that never gets completed. And you just end up kind of looking around the house and getting used to what's around there and getting complacent with it. The other big, huge piece of this is that when you buy into these reasons of why the project's not getting finished, the fact of the matter is the projects just aren't getting finished. And what happens is you end up having some feelings that are getting in the way of your business growth. So you're feeling stressed because you feel like it's all you, there's a lot of pressure, there's nobody else that can do what you need to get done. And so you just feel like you're under this mound of stress and pressure and things to do, and it's just completely overwhelming. You end up feeling insecure about yourself as a leader, as an entrepreneur. And when we're feeling insecure, we go to those places where, the itty bitty shitty committee up here, our egos, takes that and runs with it. And it can spiral us down into very, very unproductive habits. The other thing that causes, when you're not finishing your projects, that you end up feeling is frustrated. You know you're so close. It's so frustrating. And it's frustrating too because you feel like you've put in so much effort and yet you're just not getting the results that you think you should be getting. And lastly, you end up feeling, quite frankly, dependent. And that's a horrible feeling dependent. And that's kind of one of my main reasons why I shifted into business coaching. It was even a main reason why I got into aesthetics. I just couldn't stand the thought of women feeling dependent because of financial situations, because of their emotional situations. So feeling dependent feels really crummy. You feel like you're dependent, like when your business isn't growing, you feel like you have to be, often are financially dependent on somebody else. When you feel financially dependent, you just don't have options, and that's a really crummy place to be in. The other place where you end up being dependent is on free content or trusting advice given in a lot of the Facebook business groups for spa owners. There's a ton of groups, there's a ton of advice being thrown around, but you end up being dependent on the advice of others that you actually don't know. And when you don't know them, you can't really trust them. And when you can't really trust them, you really shouldn't be taking the advice, right? So stressed, insecure, frustrated, dependent, that's what happens when you're not finishing your spa business growth projects. And all of those things together or separately, what it does is it feeds your drama story. We talked about the drama story last week or the week before? I asked you, what is your spa business drama story? What do you believe about yourself that is not actually your story? We get caught up in our own drama story. We think it's ours. We think it's real. And then we start making decisions and we behave a certain way based on what we believe about ourselves. So it's this really, really destructive, negative feedback loop. And when we're believing our drama story, when we're totally entrenched in it, we become complacent. And when we become complacent in our business, that's when things just stall out. So this is what I want to get home to you, is to realize it's what's holding you back from completing your spa growth projects is not necessarily time, or that clients can't afford you, or that social media doesn't work, or that you're not a good leader. It has to do with how you're feeling. All of those things that are happening in your business cause a feeling, and it starts entrenching us into our drama story. And when we get entrenched into our drama story, we start getting complacent. I guess this is just the way it is. It's been like this for so long. Whatever. I'll keep kind of trying, but nothing really ever seems to work. So why should it change now? All right, let's cut the shit. Because you don't want to feel that way. I don't want you to feel that way. I want for you, and you want for you, to have a business that is empowering, that is supportive, that is compassionate, that is confident. So how do you get there? All right, so you want to feel those things: supportive, confident, empowered, positive. The way that I'm going to suggest that you get there this summer is to join me for the Spa Business Labs. What we are doing is there's going to be a small group of women, spa owners, and we're going to be gathering every 2 weeks for the summer. And every single person in the group, it's just a small group of 6, and every single person gets devoted attention to their business concern, their issue, their project, all the little pieces that you want to work on. We work on that at every single coaching call. And when you have a place to go every few weeks to ask your questions, to hash out your ideas, to work and collaborate with not only me, but other women in the group, in the circle, you get that hive mind that can come together and help you create something extremely exceptional, which then feeds all of those much more positive emotions and changes our drama story. And it really, quite frankly, cuts out the complacency because we have a different perspective of our business. So we start Monday, June 4th for the Spa Business Labs for the summer session, and we're going to be running for 11 weeks. We meet on the 4th for a first strategy call, and at that call is when you bring your project. What do you want to work on this summer? What do you want to complete? Do you want to create a fall marketing plan so that it's ready to hit go for September 1st or even the last week of August? Do you want to finish up a staff handbook that you've been picking at for a year or more and just can't seem to complete because you don't know where all the gaps are? You don't know what you don't know. That's where the beauty of a hive mind in a group coaching situation is beautiful. Is you've got all this collaboration. And from sources that you can trust. You get to know these women in the group, you get to know me, their backgrounds, what they've been accomplishing so far, and you're in a group of women that are very strong critical thinkers. That's the kind of people you need to be around. So we start June 4th. We meet for that day for the strategy. The following week, I believe that would be Monday the 11th, is the beginning of your coaching calls. And you have 15 minutes of undivided attention from me. So if it's your turn up, then I set the timer for 15 minutes. You ask your question. I help you hash out whatever you need to hash out. And I make sure that you always have action steps to leave with. Now, we'll meet again in 2 weeks. But the 2 weeks in between, you have a support group in Facebook support group. And the intention is that you don't wait until the next coaching call to try to figure out any problems, any questions, more questions that you have. Because of course, when you ask good questions, they always lead to more good questions, right? So the 2 weeks in between is the support and opportunity for you to kind of keep the momentum rolling, to stay connected with other spa owners and listening and hearing what they're dealing with, what solutions their approaches to their projects. So it's a really amazing, it's a very amazing opportunity to be able to just work like this, get the momentum going, in order to be able to implement what you want to implement, to finish it. We want to finish these projects. So if you're curious about it, if you're watching me the past few weeks and talking about the Spa Business Labs, if you're not sure whether it's a good fit for you, then send me a private message. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Spa owners have done that with me before, and there's definitely been times where I've said, nope, this isn't a great fit for you. There's no use. I don't want you to be in the group unless it is a good fit, and I know that you will create some momentum and have some support for your own accountability, because nobody can make you accountable. You're the only person that can do accountability. We can be here for you, to support you, to remind you of why you're here, remind you of what you're working on, but ultimately you are the only person that can hold yourself accountable. But this is a fantastic way to support yourself through that. Okay, so if you have any questions, send me a personal message or direct message, or drop your questions in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back to you. All right, that is it for me for the for Spa Business Break today. It's still talking about, let's get your head wrapped around the right pole here, because if it's wrapped around the wrong thing, if you are wrapped up in your drama story and have become complacent as you've done this, and you're realizing there's this complacency, then I invite you to make a decision. Just make the decision to make it different, and join us for the Spa Business Labs for June 4th. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.